Hey, I want to take a little time today to talk about the topic of compact and subcompact guns. Are they completely useless? Well, no, they're not completely useless, of course. That's silly to say they're completely useless. They have their uses. But those uses are very limited. They are good for things like concealed carry, deep carry, backup guns, etc. I see people so often lose sight of that because I'll get emails from people saying, oh, I want a new gun for home defense, or I want a new gun for the range, and I'm looking at the M&P 9C or the Glock 26. And I'm like, well, why the freak are you looking at either one of those for home defense or for the range? Those are not good guns for home defense or the range. I mean, they'll work, but they're not optimal. If you want to optimize your defensive ability for home or your fun at the range, you're going to want a full-size gun. So I see people losing sight of what some compacts are actually good for. Because one thing people forget is that compact guns, subcompact guns are compromises. They're made smaller so that you can conceal them easier. That's the only reason they're smaller. It's not so they're better. You don't go, oh, this gun was a lot better small. No, it's better big. It does everything better bigger. Big is better. Bigger is better, I should say. Believe me, I've heard that too many times in my life. But people lose sight of that. They think, I'm going to get a subcompact for carry or a compact for carry because it's just as good a gun as the big ones, and they're not. Like I said, they're compromises. They usually carry less rounds. They have shorter sight radiuses. They handle recoil not nearly as well. So they're just harder to shoot accurately. So they're not optimal for your self-defense, home defense, range, or anything. They only come into play when you have to be able to hide it. If you can hide a full-size gun, carry a full-size gun. It's a better gun. If you open carry a full-size gun. There's no reason to carry a compact or a subcompact, especially if you're someone who knows you always open carry. When you're deciding what gun to buy, keep in mind, you don't have to conceal it, so get the better gun. And compact is not going to be a better version of the full-size. Now, I know a lot of guys are touchy about carrying full-size guns because they're afraid it makes their willy look smaller. But you know what? There is a solution for that problem. Don't show people your penis in public. Don't show strangers your ding-dong, and they won't notice how small it is. If you're really concerned, stick a sock down there while you're carrying your full-size gun. I mean, I carry a full-size gun all the time. I don't worry about how small it makes my ding-dong look because I only show my penis to one other person, and believe me, they've made their peace with the size of it by now. They have reached the acceptance stage. And the only other person that really should be seeing them is our doctors, and they're trained not to giggle, so we don't have to worry about that. So if you're going to be open carrying, or you could even conceal a full-size gun, carry a full-size gun. It's just a better gun. Don't worry about how small it makes your penis look. Also, with women, I see women making the wrong choices too. A lot of times they'll make a choice saying, oh, well, I got to carry a small gun because I got small hands and I want an easier to shoot gun or a gun I can grip. Well, I've found that to be totally false. I have not found a single woman yet, and I've got a tiny mother and a tiny sister and everything else, and they can all find a full-size gun they can hold and that they can shoot accurately and they can shoot well. So there are full-size guns out there that fit women's hands, and most women's hands are adequate for pretty much all guns. So you're going to be fine if you choose a full-size gun. Now, I know women have different issues with concealment, but here's the thing. If you're not concealing, definitely get a full-size gun. If you're going to have to conceal, then you compromise on the size of your gun just like a man would. And you might have to make more compromises than men do the shape of your body. Although, I don't know, if you've seen the asses and hips on some of these guys at gun rallies, I think their boobs are bigger than yours too, usually. So you make compromises there. But if you're going to open carry or anything like that, or you're buying a gun for home defense or the range, get a full size. And with you all, you don't even have to worry about it making your penis look small. It's actually the opposite. I think you'd want to carry as big a gun as possible. I'd strap like a mini AR, like an AR pistol on my hip. Because when you're comparing, when they're looking down below, they're like, oh, that giant pistol makes her vajayjay look even smaller. It looks petite. Looks like almost like an Asian vagina. And the guys love Asian vaginas, smallest, tightest vagina in the game. So that's what you'd want to do. If you're carrying some tiny little gun on your hip and they're looking, by comparison, they're like, my God, she could fit her whole gun up there. I don't want anything to do with that. Because you got to remember, these guys are already a little bit self-conscious about the size of their penises. So they look at you, they look at that tiny gun, and they look at that cavernous vagina next to it by comparison, and they're like, talk about throwing a hot dog down a hallway. They're going to run the other way screaming and crying. So carry as big a gun as you can, men or women. because carrying a bigger gun is always better unless you have to conceal it, hide it, it's a backup gun, something special like that. But if it's a gun you're not going to carry at all, definitely get the bigger gun for the range, for home defense. If it's a gun you're going to open carry, get the bigger gun. If it's a gun you're going to conceal carry and you can conceal a full size, get a full size. I conceal a Beretta all the time. And I'm not a huge guy. I'm a little over 6 feet tall, about 210 pounds. I hide this Beretta quite easily. It's just about wearing the right kind of clothes and the right kind of holster. So, unless you have to compromise, there's no reason to compromise and go down to a compact. Like, unless I said you can't conceal a full size or you have a special use for it, like a backup gun, a pocket gun, etc. That's what those guns are made for. But I see too many people using them for home defense or buying them for the range when that's not what they're made for. Now, don't get me wrong. I won't tell you what to buy. You buy whatever you want. I don't care if you're carrying a sea camp. You're still ahead of the game as far as I'm concerned, just the fact that you're carrying. I won't tell you what to carry, how to carry it. The fact that you have a gun on you means you are 99% prepared in my mind. And I'm not going to lecture you or chastise you. But I'm just saying, if you want the best gun, get the best gun. And that's usually going to be a full size. Now, if all you have is one gun and you have to have a compact gun to carry, well, sure, that's going to be great for home defense and you're going to have fun with it at the range. But if you're going to have multiple guns for different things, get guns more suited to what you're buying that gun for. Don't be looking at compacts for the range or subcompacts for home defense, and don't think you have to get tiny guns because of the size of your hands or because, oh, I'm a lady and I can't handle a big gun. Big guns shoot softer than the little guns usually. So I just get tired of seeing people misunderstand what compacts and subcompacts are for. They're great guns for concealing. They're great guns for deep concealment. They're great guns for backup guns. But when it comes to every other use, you should always go with a full size because they're just a better gun.